Good evening. My name is Claudia Estrada, and this is my week 2 discussion board for public finance and budgeting. I'll be discussing the three stages of the California state budget, the identifying two key budget priorities within every one of those budgets, analyze how priorities evolve from January to the final approval. So in the January proposed budget, the governor did call for more money to support the schools of kindergarten through 12th grade, and this was to focus on helping students catch up on their learning or closing gaps that were compromised during the pandemic or made worse in a sense. The second priority was the homelessness and the housing. It was suggested to put quite a few money towards these programs to prevent the homelessness and also build more affordable housing and showing that effort to deal with the housing crisis going on. In May, um, in the May revised budget, um, it was to change the school funding plans and see how much money the state would have. Basic funding stayed the same, but some of the plans increased or increases were reduced um, and sent to one-time grants and programs to support students and their mental health. Um, and then when it came to the homeless and the housing, um, given some of the constraints that led to relocation of some of the house fundings, less money became available. Some of the housing funds were moved to focus on quick help for people experiencing this homelessness, like more shelter beds or support services, instead of building new affordable housing. So I guess it was just more like focused on emergency situations rather than new affordable housing. Then in the final changes that were done during the summer for the budget was more changes to the school funding and then just giving extra help to the districts that lost many of these students during that hardship of the pandemic. Um, some more one-time money was kept for also the pandemic recovery, um, but regular yearly increases were made smaller. So that was the final intact one. And then when it came to the homelessness and the housing, the final budget added some rules um, for local governments, but kept the basic funding. But some new housing plans were delayed um, or they were cut back because the state had less money than they expected. Um, so yeah, and then the final budget just shows um, the compromise between the first ideas and how much the state actually had. Um, so I'm sure that they went in with like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is what, but as things were evolving throughout the time, they started realizing, okay, like for example, the homelessness, how at first it was, part of it was really focused on new housing, but in reality, the situation was much larger than they expected. So it was more focused on, hey, what can we do in this emergency situation, providing more shelter, more beds, um, and then just still keeping the continued focus on the education and the housing, um, and being committed to these issues, but given what that the money is tight, um, it was just more focused on the emergency part of those issues. But yes. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Hope you enjoyed.